Sorry ass DJ.
Hey everybody, how you doing out there? And welcome to my continuation of Ranking the Victims' Death. I am on Halloween 2 here, 1981. And when it comes to the deaths and all these ones here, I think they're pretty decently, at least from okay to really good in my opinion here. So even my bottom ones, I'm just like, okay, they're plain and simple ones, or I'll have a reason for my number 10 why it probably could have been at least a little bit better. But I really wouldn't say any of them were really that bad. We actually have 10 to talk about. I would definitely be kind of curious what you think about these 10 deaths, and how would you actually rank them, or give me your best or give me your worst here. Well, let's get ourselves started. Number 10, if you really want to say the worst of the worst, because that's how the list actually goes instead of just okay, it's got to be Bud. Now, I'm not a big fan of the character Bud. I think he's pretty much a dick, but you know what? You got to have those kind of characters. Him and Nurse Karen are actually, I guess, sort of in a basement area or whatever, and they're kind of in a hospital hot tub. They're making out a little bit, and Michael Myers ends up turning up the heat on them there, and Karen's like, hey, you should go check it out, Bud, and Bud kind of refuses, and then she pretty much convinces him, well, if not, we're done with sex, and it's like, gotcha. And then so he gets himself out, and we pretty much focus more on the nurse here, where we see him in the background kind of checking all the controls and trying to figure out, well, how come it's so hot? It all looks normal to me, kind of thing. And then Michael Myers comes out of, behind him and starts strangling him. But I'm not even too sure exactly what he had. He didn't strangle with his hands, but he had something. But the reason why I have him at the bottom is because it is very, very blurry. If it was a little bit, maybe, I'd say that if we were able to see the death a little bit more there with his struggling, and of course him falling, then just focusing on her, I probably at least would have had him maybe at least one or two spots higher than where I have him here. Number 9 is going to be the Marshal. Now, we don't even see this character for probably about over an hour into the movie, because we get the nurse from the very first Halloween movie who was driving Dr. Loomis to pick up Michael Myers. She comes back into this movie at the very end. Marshal is driving him and her out of town. Loomis pretty much finds a way to be persuasive to actually say, Marshal, I really do need your help here. So they end up driving to the hospital once the nurse says to Loomis, by the way, this is Michael Myers' sister. And it's like, hey, where's she at? Where's the hospital? Blah, blah, blah. So they end up getting there. And of course, this is where we actually have Michael Myers walking like a goddamn Frankenstein. More than most of the movie, I feel like, here. So he kind of goes through the glass of the door there. Donald Pleasant shoots at him. He goes down. And of course, the thing is, even Loomis, by giving him a couple warnings, do not go near him, he's still breathing. I don't know how Loomis would actually know that there, but the guy actually goes over to him, and Michael Myers, once again, Loomis trying to stop him, and it's like, he stopped breathing. Michael Myers grabs him, turns him around, and slices his throat there, I think with a scalpel. So, and then of course that's when Loomis and Laurie have to run away there. I do enjoy that one there. I guess it's because I like this guy a little bit better. Yeah, stupid decision, no shocker, with Loomis trying to warn you there. Number 8 is going to be Ben Tramer. Now, I will say this. If I was talking about the most effed up deaths, he probably would be number 1 because of this here. But I'll get to the reason here in a moment why I have him very, very low. So you got Ben Tramer dressed up like Michael Myers. You got Dr. Loomis pulling out his gun, chasing down who he thinks is Michael Myers. And when this kid crosses the street, police car comes, hits this guy. The police car, for whatever reason, could not stop. Pretty much sandwiches him between this cop car and a van. That the van starts blowing up and he catches on fire. Now, like I said, it's a very effed up death there, but for whatever reason, I just don't care, and I'm just not that impressed with it. Maybe I've watched this movie so much that I'm like, I used to be shocked and awed about it. Now I'm just like, there might be people that will disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine, but this is where I thought was really a good spot for him here. Number 7 is going to be Nurse Virginia. Now, this is an aftermath kill where we have a character, Jimmy, And he actually walks into this room, and she's lying on on a table or on a gurney or something like that. And there, she has something in her arm, which actually turns out a little tube, and it's like draining out all of her blood. And you see all of this blood. Like, you could tell this was the blood budget, was this scene and this shot alone and all that. And it looked awesome, I will say. Number 6 is going to be Dr. Meekstum. So what we have with him is we have a nurse that comes in and says, hey, something's going on with Lori. She has some kind of allergic reaction to the medicine that you actually gave her. You got to come quick. And they actually show half of his face where his eye is open, but it's like it's not moving. Like, what the hell's going on? So the nurse comes a little closer to his desk and pushes the chair over, and we actually see there is a needle placed right in the middle of his eye there. And as much as, again, that's an aftermath death, I think that is a very unique aftermath death. Okay, folks, halfway through this ranking, number 5 is going to be a character named Alice, and she's the very first one to actually die in this movie. So we have her in the kitchen talking to one of her friends on the phone, and her friend's saying about, did you hear about the murders that actually just happened, since 1 and 2 are supposed to be one big movie? So she's like, oh my god, it's right down the street. And I believe she hears a noise, so she actually puts down the phone, or she hangs up on her friend, one of the two there, and she slowly goes from the kitchen into the living room, and it looks like that she's almost like slowly trying to walk to the front door. Michael Myers comes to the side of her there, stabs her. Now, we don't see exactly, but I'm assuming in the chest area, because we get a little bit of blood splatter on her face. So the reason why I do like this one here is that it's always been kind of a very cool surprise. Like, probably even if you knew she was going to die, I still always kind of got a little bit of like, that is so cool. Just him just jumping out of the shadows like that, and just a quick, okay, simple kill. Number 4 is going to be Nurse Janet. Now, Nurse Janet was the one that actually went into Dr. Meekstum's office. After she sees the needle in his eye there, she slowly starts walking backwards. We see Michael Myers slowly coming out of the shadows, bumps into him. She gets scared. He grabs her by the mouth, and he actually has a syringe. He actually flips the back of the syringe up and then goes right into her temple, and pretty much just, there's nothing in it, it's just going to be air, and just takes her out there. And that is a very messed up death, in my opinion there. Number 3 is going to be Nurse Karen. Now, this might be a surprise that this is not my number 1, and this might be a lot of people's. That's perfectly fine on that. Now, she's the one that was with Bud. She's actually getting out of this hospital hot tub, or what exactly it is there. She has the towel on. Myers comes in, puts his hand on her shoulder and neck, and when she finally realizes it's not Michael Myers, he grabs her and starts dunking her head in this boiling hot water, and back and forth, where drowning her, pulling her out, and she's screaming. And every time he does this, and he probably does it about 3 or 4 times, her skin is slowly melting off of her hair, and I thought that is fucking amazing there. But unfortunately, I just thought there were just 2 more that I liked a little bit better, in my opinion. Number 2 is going to be Nurse Jill. Her and Jimmy could not find Lori. She ends up going out. I think she was going to go to the police, and it actually turned out when she got to her car, she has a flat tire, so she actually goes right back in to the hospital. She eventually finds Lori, and Lori, of course, is dazed and confused with all the medicine that the doctor gave her there. And whenever the nurse screams her name, Lori slowly starts turning. Michael Myers is right behind her. I believe that she has a quick little look that she realizes someone's, right behind her there. With a scalpel, Michael Myers stabs her in the back and lifts her up in the air, and that scalpel is got to be one of the strongest scalpels I've ever seen. And the thing is, she's just hanging up there, and then whenever her shoes fall, he ends up dropping her onto the ground and starts going towards Lori, and I just really enjoy that death there. Number 1 is going to be the security guard. Now, I believe he does have a name, but I can't remember what his name was there, so I'm just going security guard. He actually goes, I guess, kind of like a little, little hospital warehouse or whatever it is, and he goes in. He starts opening up all these different doors here, and it's like, okay, well, I have no idea what's going on here. And at one point, he actually has a walkie-talkie, and he's trying to talk to one of the nurses, and they're having a little trouble communicating. The walkie-talkies are not working, or they're not on the right channels, whatever the reason is. So the thing is that after he finally gets off the walkie-talkie, he goes to one more door. He opens it up. Nothing is happening there. He closes the door, and there's Michael Myers with a hammer, and he actually has the hammer claw and goes right down and hits this guy on the top of the head. And even though that you know it's a dummy, it always gets me. Even though you know it's coming, I'm not saying I'm scared of it, but just every time it's there, I'm like, ooh, I really do like that. I wish there was some gore in it, but hell, this is still my number one, so I shouldn't even complain about that there. I really do enjoy his death there. Again, plain and simple, and sometimes I will have plain and simple ones better than some unique ones. But there you guys go. There is my Ranking the Victims' Death of Halloween 2, 1981. Hopefully you guys enjoyed them, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have yourselves a good one. Bye.